Well, good morning. This is Marty over at Excellence in Education. And yes, we are starting a brand new school year. The 25-26 school year is on its way. 3 to 4 weeks. That's all it is from here. So, I'd like to go over a few things just for fun and basically give you an idea the difference between schooling and learning. Schooling is primarily highly structured and you have so many minutes to do certain things. You got, if you're a certain age, you're a certain grade, and that's schooling. Learning starts very early in life, like day one. And your child is always learning, bringing in all that information, trying to assess as best they can what it all means. So let's look at this upcoming school year. I want to give you some little ideas that might make it a little bit easier for you as a family to have an outstanding, wonderful school year with your kids learning and everybody enjoying the process. So let's take a look and find out. Ask yourself this: what really is the purpose of teaching elementary age children? Basically, it's very simple, in my book at least. One, you want to create the love of learning. If the kids hate to learn, they're not going to do well. But if they love to learn, they'll be enthusiastic and excited. Two, let's create a self taught individual over time. It's not going to happen in first grade all the time, but over time, let's create a child who knows how to do the research, how to use reference materials, and to dig deep on their own. And three, we want to create the concept of mastery. What do you mean by that? Basically, what it means is that we want to throw away age equals grade. That's schooling. But if you throw away age equals grade, then we have a far higher level of enthusiasm. Now, like right now, if your child's in 6 years old, he'll be in first grade. Is he going to be in first grade level with all subjects? Absolutely not. He might be behind or he might be ahead. But why would we restrict him to first grade? If he's behind, he gets frustrated and he thinks he's a dummy. If your child's ahead, he gets frustrated because they're bored. So if we throw away age equals grade, you are so much ahead. Now, we also want to throw away time equals performance grades. In the regular schooling system, you have from September to June to basically learn what you can. Then they promote you, regardless of your performance level. So let's assume, I'll go to high school for a minute for this example, but your student goes in Algebra 1 and he gets a C in June. Well, guess what? He's going to go into geometry or Algebra 2 with a 20 to 30% deficiency. Being that math is foundational, we know now that he's not going to do as well as he could. So we want to instead spend time creating mastery in the subject he's in. We can throw away, oh my gosh, it's coming to June, we got to push, we got to push, we got to push. So what if we take over a year to master a subject? It does not mean anything at the long term. But if you allow him to master, then the gift you give him or her is lifetime A student status. Not a B student status, not a C, but an A. And if you're gung ho about the dream requiring college, if you're a straight A student, that goes a long way. So, in the high school example, if your student takes a year and a half to master Algebra 1, I would give them 1 year of credit. Not a year and a half, can't do that, but a year. But it's a big A. Now, the next year, if they master geometry in half a year, oh yes, we're going to give him a full year of credit. Why? Because they have mastered it. They got the big A. So, in elementary school, we also want to work on the creation of the dream. What do you mean by that? Real simple. Every child has a dream, but not every child expresses the dream. Why is that? Because there's too many dream stealers out there. For instance, you have a 6-year-old. He's doing good in Little League. He's one of the better players. And so he starts to fantasize, wow, I can be a Major League Baseball player. Now, a lot of parents will go, it's so nice that you're playing Little League, but no. You'll never make it. You'll never make it. You know what you've done? You've stolen his dream. And then you wonder why they never confessed their dream. But if we have a child that can create dreams, and yes, they will change over time in most cases. Now, my daughter, when she was 10 years old, she wanted to be a pilot. And guess what? She is a pilot today. She achieved her dream of a 10-year-old. Now, the best thing about a dream is that if a person has a dream, they have purpose. A person who does not have a dream does not have purpose. And people without purpose tend to make bad decisions because they've got nothing to lose. Is that what you want for your child? I don't think so. So let's review real quick. Elementary school and junior high. Create the love of learning. Create a self-taught person over time. Create the dream. Work on mastery. And exploration. Got to throw that in. Let your child explore. Get away from the highly prescribed process of schooling. Let them take time. For an example, you're sitting down with your little kids at the kitchen table doing arithmetic. And all of a sudden, this gorgeous bird just flies right and lands near the window. Now, if you're schooling, we have to go, boom, go away, bird. We don't have time for you. But if you're a learner, you'll say, hey, kids, look at that bird. Quick, get your phone. Let's take a picture of that bird. And let's go study. What kind of bird is it? And then you spend some time on that. And you find out that bird is a migratory bird. And they go from north to south and then south to north. As you study that bird, you're going to study geography. You're going to study the bird. You're going to study math. You're going to study a lot of different things, not just arithmetic or math. So get back to learning and take the time to make those exceptions and divert from what you're doing now to explore and learn more about everything that way. Okay, so let's look at the process of age equals grade, which we've touched on. Not everyone matures at the same time. There is a concept called integrated maturity, and that's when all your senses finally integrate together. Happens around age 10, 8 to 10 years old. We also have the concept that we must have every kid at every stage of life at the same level. But that's nuts because kids will mature at different times. And for instance, to learn certain mathematical concepts, you must have the ability to participate in abstract thinking. That's why they call it variables when you have an algebraic equation. Now, most kids are concrete thinkers until about age 8 to 10. Oh my goodness. Isn't that what we call the integrated maturity level? Amazing, isn't it? So, why would we subject our children to concepts they cannot fully understand before they have the ability to understand? Now, realize that learning takes place 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. That is why you're not going to get behind on things because your children are picking things up all the time, consciously or subconsciously. So if you understand that and you change your attitude a little bit, especially in elementary school years, that allow for exploration, that allow for creating the dream, everything goes really well. So if you allow your child the benefit of exploration, what you're doing is you're expanding their horizons, you're expanding their view of life, which can help them create their dream and work at their dream. So let's get to high school. Very simply, high school is nothing more, I repeat, nothing more than preparing your child for age 25. Now, that means that your child really needs to have some idea of what they're working toward. And that's the dream. So we can do a lot with high school. You can get away from textbook approach if you want. You will be able to expand on exploration because they're older. And then if you do a lot of exploratory things, let's say you study photography, you spend time doing that, you know, you should be able to get those subjects added to your transcript. Why not? You have spent time to master photography. And the more you explore, the more you're able to expand or create that dream that you're working for. Because again, in high school, we are really, really, really working for where they want to be at age 25. Let's say that, well, I want to be a carpenter. I want to work with wood, create beautiful interior kitchens, stuff like that. Why would that student be forced into taking slice and dice to kitty cat biology? Does he really need it? No. He'd be better off taking botany or the study of various woods. But he doesn't need to take calculus. He doesn't need to take Algebra 2, trigonometry, because he's all about the trades. He's all about being a woodworker, how to saw, how to polish, how to do all the things to create that beautiful project, whether it be a kitchen remodel or a furniture maker. But on the other hand, if your child wants to be a doctor, dang right. We're going to slice and dice that kitty cat. We're going to take trigonometry, algebra 2, calculus, because that's what's required to create a successful 25-year-old. So, in conclusion, it's really kind of beneficial for you to create that environment that respects the child, respects the budget, respects the performance levels of a well-adjusted student who will end up being a lifetime learner. I mean, think about it. Most kids, after they get out of high school or college, they quit reading because they don't like reading, because they were forced into it, reading big, thick history books with no concept of why it's important. So, let's take our time. Let's smell the roses. Let's create that delightful, successful, happy adult that you're going to spend your whole life creating. All right. This is Marty with Excellence in Education, and I'm looking forward for you to have a very highly successful 25-26 school year by incorporating some of the simple concepts we have discussed today. So until the next video, you take care, and we'll catch you on the next one.